Now what do I do? He greens up. Here we go. Okay. My first time casting in quite a while. Hopefully the sounds are alright. I did do some testing on my own channel, but anyway, here we go. Alright, so we have round of 32, Lucas L99 against GiveUAnxiety, Aztecs against Indians on ESOC Manchuria. Alright. Saving EP recorded game. How does this UI even work? Okay, let's see. That works. Okay, so hello everyone. Lucas L99 against GiveUAnxiety. We can see that GiveUAnxiety has gone, well, I mean, he's straight away exploring the maps with both explorers. I don't think he's going to come across any. Alright, so big thing about this map. If we turn off the fog, we'll see that there are lots and lots of yaks in there. And yaks are one of the things that India benefits a lot more from than Aztecs, because one thing is Aztecs don't really build livestock pens. Well, India, if they get these yaks, that's kind of an XP source. You can see GiveUAnxiety, right? They're getting about 3 yaks right now already so far. 46 seconds in the game. I'm not sure why there's a bit of a lack of sound. Oh, never mind, that works. But 5 yaks to 1, and that's basically an effect from how GiveUAnxiety starts with 2 explorers. And you can also kind of predict where on the map these yaks are going to be, because there's a sort of preset pattern on every yak, on every map rather, on every livestock map, where everything's going to spawn. There hasn't been much in the way of treasures taken. GiveUAnxiety, I could just call him Gua at this point. Okay, never mind. GiveUAnxiety, he's been gathering no treasures at all so far, just getting all the yaks. He's running around. He's saying, "Okay, look, there's a fire pit. What a surprise!" Let's have a look at the herding, though. Both players pretty much on point. Nothing much there. I should probably have looked at the hunts, but they seem alright. So no controversy in that aspect. I'm not sure who scouted this yak first. Perhaps it was Gua, perhaps GiveUAnxiety, perhaps it was Lucas. Okay, so it was Gua, GiveUAnxiety. He's going back for the yak, and that's probably the right decision. But it's questionable whether he'll actually be able to bring it back to its town center. I think Lucas will have picked his deck by now. And we can see there's pretty much, it's pretty much standard deck. You've got all these standard land cards in it, but because this is Manchuria, it does mean that there is the potential for water becoming a factor, which does mean that these cards are going to come into play, especially Water Dance. I'm not sure why he has Schooners since his ESOC patch, but, well, I don't think they'll come into play, but it could. I mean, sometimes you can send these cards late into the game and it pays off still. Anyway, let's see what GiveUAnxiety has opted for now. Also kind of a water deck. Now, yes, distributivism is first. Sometimes with India you can go for a trading post and send 2 cards in age 1, but it looks like GiveUAnxiety is opting to just try age up a bit faster. Yep, everything going on food now. He's hard stop gathering wood. Except for distributivism, he should be moving his villager. There it is. Sometimes if you're on point, then you can just pop that villager in the town center and pop them right onto the sheep. Okay, so Lucas is aging up with the messenger, which is of course the fast age politician. Very rarely as Aztec do you want to go age up with a different politician. And no forward villagers just yet, but he is chopping quite a lot of wood, so I do expect some forward villagers to go for it. And this is a rather defensive aggro fort from GiveUAnxiety. Now, well, it's still not too easy to see what Lucas's intentions are, because there's only 1 forward villager going here. But he has scouted with his lion that, well, maybe there are 4 villagers on the Wonder, but you can see that, well, it's not very much built. It's 30% of the way up. You know, it doesn't look very built. So he's got quite a lot of time to do what he wants to do. And now first shipment. I should probably switch this to shipments. Here we go. So 700 wood going to be first? Who knows? It looks like he might be intending to go for... Alright, 700 wood first is the plan. And so it's going to be Pumas against Walls and an Agra Fort. Now I do like the position of this war hut from Lucas. I'm just going to quickly tab out and see if anyone sent me anything, just to make sure. Nothing. Okay. Just to make sure that there's no issues with the settings, but everything seems fine. This war hut at this side location is going to be, well, interesting to say the least. Usually you would expect your opponent to forward base somewhere in the center, in which case this wall would be quite effective. But you can see that this kind of bypasses the whole thing, and you can see that, well, GiveUAnxiety does have this kind of, by the way, he just aged up at 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Well, pretty decent age up time for India, but Aztec is of course faster. And I do suspect that there will be Pumas in queue over here. And well, I think GiveUAnxiety is going to scout this. Yes, he is. Okay, but as things stand right now, while he does have this wall, his hunt over here is not exactly herded very well to his down center. So this is going to be his main hunt, his main source of food. And if okay, so here comes the first push. So if Lucas can actually just keep up the pressure in age 2, he might be able to. Then GiveUAnxiety might eventually run a resource in there. Of course, he can't exactly push it straight away. It seems like he's trying to get more of a mass. GiveUAnxiety did send 5 Sepoy first instead of an eco card or anything like that. So, well, that's alright, I suppose. Means he was kind of expecting some big rush, basically. Because, I mean, if he wasn't expecting a big rush, he could have sent something like 600 wood, some slower eco options, such as the second tier, what's it called again, foreign logging, which is basically about 4 vils, 5 vils, something like that. Lucas still just training Pumas from here and having mace. This is just a 10 mace shipment. It might be a 9 mace shipment next, but we'll see. 600 wood has come in for GiveUAnxiety. I'm sorry, I should have repositioned this. But, okay, now it's repositioned. Anyway, only 5 Gurkhas, and I'm not sure if there's anything in queue for GiveUAnxiety. Nothing in queue, in fact. It looks like he's going to depend on his town center fire, all these units, and possibly Minutemen. Lucas being a bit cautious over here. But you can see the military unit population is quite in favor of Lucas at this point in time, but it's still small numbers. Okay, never mind. Here comes a big number. 33 against 15, which means he's got double the military unit population. GiveUAnxiety just sent 600 wood. He's using that to build military buildings, and this is Lucas's timing to push, really. Everything coming in. I think actually GiveUAnxiety doesn't even have enough food to send Minutemen at this point in time. He doesn't have a market up to trade for that either, so quite mismacroed at the moment. And well, Elephant's still doing quite some damage there, but I do think that this Agra Fort is going to go down. Consulate coming up, but what's it really going to do? These Elephants are really doing quite a lot of work, but the Mace Sultans are focusing down the Seapower pretty well. That's a big XP boost for Aztec. Now Aztec has a few choices here. Okay, he's choosing to go back. Now, what he will probably have known by now is there was a consulate going up, there was a stable going up. So pretty much all that GiveUAnxiety can send, can train rather, assuming he doesn't have some sort of secret barracks at the back, is cavalry, and perhaps a Minuteman batch. If it's like 300 X or something. See, here comes cavalry. He's already exhausted his 5 Sepoy cards, so everything is going to be cavalry from this point on. Looks like he's trying to distract things a bit, distract Lucas a bit. That might work, that might not work. You can see that there's quite a few exposed villagers over here, and his herding is starting to get a bit of out of control over here. Still, well, okay, I think it's basically, yeah, that hunt just ran out, and pretty much in about 5 seconds all these villagers are going to have to move, so that's going to be something. Anyway, Lucas is just pushing in, well, not pushing rather, but just poking. See this villager's moving over here, but he's still fine. GiveUAnxiety is still not enough resources to get Minutemen batches out, and I think that's what he really needs right now, and these swords are not going to do very much. Not looking very good for GiveUAnxiety, but here come the wrong set of Minutemen, I'd say. He really did need the other kind, shooty types. But these Pumas could be sieging rather than, I mean sorry, could be dealing damage here rather than running around sieging. It looks like GiveUAnxiety will somewhat hold for now, possibly due to the mismicro of the Puma over there. And looks like we've got a fire village, forward fire villager. I think that could have been over, but it might still be over actually in terms of military units in this location right now. Nice big stomp there, but I don't think that's really going to matter too much. Diplomatic intrigue just arrives for GiveUAnxiety, so you can use that to finally get some worth out of this consulate, which has not been allied with anything just yet. It might go into Ottoman consulate. Let's see what's text being researched. He has not got any Ottoman consulate in queue or anything just yet. Still trapped in his town center, and now you can see what I said earlier about resources coming into play. He's got this hunt which used to be on this side, which is now pretty much exposed to the right. And, well, I mean, these hunts are now being hunted by the accidental 5 villager shipment to a forward war hut. So, not looking very good for GiveUAnxiety at all. He's starved of resources completely. There come another Minuteman batch, but how many villagers has he lost so far? Units lost, let's see, 10 villagers, and none lost at all for Lucas. Even though his villagers are so exposed, I think that possibly the 4 Solar could have been used to buy a bit of time, but in the end he opted to send them back and go for some kind of surround. But you can see that's not really working out. Really, that didn't work out very well for him. 1 elephant explorer standing up, and more coyotes coming out. Coyote runners, more of an XP boost, and you know, here come the Minutemen, another kind of last stand here. But you can see, that, well, I mean, recalculated economic unit population is pretty similar, and I think that's probably an effect of how he's got 2 of these eco cards going for him. But, well, where's he getting food from? He's getting food from these last 2 remaining Ceros, but those are about 50 food each. This is going to run out. He's going to have to go for this one. And if Lucas just keeps up the pressure, he's even adding a second war hut. He's got plenty of resources to train stuff. Maybe he needs to manage his house production, but yeah, okay, he's putting up enough houses. That's fine. Here come this Minutemen raid. He's going to kill a villager actually. Quite interesting to see that happening, but yeah, that happened. And now half the Minutemen are dead. He's finally moving over to these hunts, and I think, well, Lucas should be able to recognize that and go straight in. Okay, villagers going in the town center. See, one big thing over here is that 5 sepoy shipment, I'd say. I mean, he repelled the sort of rush, but I don't think it was... I don't think he actually needed to send that. He could have defended and sent 5 sepoys later on. But in the end he opted for this kind of awkward build where 600 wood went to the stable and the consulate, which didn't actually do anything for him. Let's have a look at the villager. You can see Lucas is, I mean, his the way he's been spreading out his villagers is GiveUAnxiety was a bit more okay, never mind. That's the end of the game. And since this is the best of 1, the series goes to Lucas L99. So he does defeat GiveUAnxiety here in, let's say GG here, since neither of them have said GG. They're not talking. But, right, so Lucas does win this game, and GiveUAnxiety is still a bit silent on the matter. But this is, well, there are opinions on how, divided opinions on how this matchup goes, but I think it's very much up to GiveUAnxiety not having a good build to counter this kind of Aztec play. And this kind of Aztec play is actually pretty standard Aztec play against India. I mean, the moment he lost the Agra fort and he didn't have any production facilities, any useful production facilities rather, because, well, you know, these weren't doing anything. 600 wood, 400 wood of that went into buildings which are pretty much useless against that composition, and it kind of snowballed, and in the end, well, Lucas won. So congratulations to him, and I guess I'll be moving on to cast the next game, whichever that is. Let's have a quick look at the post-game graphs though. This guy got the least resources, bit bad. Of course, GiveUAnxiety did have the most units killed. Loss was going to Lucas, but let's have a look at the villager population. Okay, so yep, you can see that the first fight didn't actually go too well for Lucas, but what that did give him was the initiative, and you know, all he needed to do was keep on flooding in units and preventing GiveUAnxiety from gathering resources, especially food. GiveUAnxiety had no market, he couldn't trade, he couldn't do any contingency surrounds or anything very easily. He even sent the wrong Minutemen pop over there, I believe. So that's my analysis for this game, and that's it for me until the next casting, until my casting overlord tells me what to do next. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.